Okay. How do you describe me to others?
I usually say you're like my sister and my best friend.
Aww.
Yeah. Other than that, I feel like they just have to meet you. And then usually once they meet you, then they always say, tell your mama hey after when I see them again. So.
Okay.
Okay. When you think of the first time we met, what do you most remember feeling?
Oh, okay. The first time we met was when you were born.
Yeah.
And I just felt so proud and so happy. You know, I saw a bouncing baby girl, beautiful, healthy. I remember counting your fingers and your toes. I had heard that you do that, but it really is true. It's like you want to just make sure everything's okay. And I just remember it's an immediate bond. Yeah, that was precious.
Okay.
Okay, my turn. Okay. Oh, my. Okay, Carla, do your best impression of me.
Okay. Well, I was going to the store, and then, but before that, I was going. I called your brother, and yes, and fantastic.
Yeah, that's definitely my word. Okay, it says here both, so I guess I'm to do my best impression of you.
Yes.
Let's see. I just see you walking, you know. I see you a little. Yeah, I just see you, right, getting there.
Okay. What's something you don't fully understand about me and why?
Don't fully understand. That's kind of a weird question because I do think I understand. It's just different from me. You know, I think I've come to understand, but it's different. You know, like you feel a whole lot more about your surroundings. It's stuff like that I'm liable to miss. You know, your moments are longer than mine. You know what I mean? It seems like so I can't say I don't understand it because a lot of that you're like your dad in that regard. So honestly, having you has helped me understand him better because y'all are so similar in certain aspects, just like me and your brother are so similar. You know, and it really does soften you up because when you're younger, you think, oh, he just be. And then you realize when you have a child like that, you know, that's an inherited trait and that's who that person is. So it makes you more responsive to it. Okay, what's your biggest struggle right now as mother and daughter, and what can we do better to overcome it?
Biggest struggle as mother and daughter. Just the way we process emotions. So sometimes, like you'll say you don't realize you're feeling something, and you might do something or be a little more anxious, and then I'll be affected by it, and then it'll cause some type of rub, and then we have to address it.
Right, yeah.
Like going through the grief last year, I felt kind of like it was hard to kind of find footing and feel stable. And so, you know, it's always hard for me to like ask for help, but also I need to process it myself before I talk to you about it. Sometimes I just can't, you know.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'd like to really get better at because when I'm thinking it's just you just needing some quiet time, I can tell in your voice if something's wrong or not. And even if it's something wrong, sometimes I'll just kind of, I don't want you thinking I'm just trying to pry or whatever, right? But like I said, I just try to allow you to let me know you want to talk about it, because I don't like pushing myself, because even when you were little, it was you would let me know when you when you're ready to talk, so that's still the case. I still see you, I see that.
What was the end of that question?
It was,
It said something like,
okay, what can we do to better overcome it?
okay. I think by listening, like when we have those moments, listening to what we're asking for, and then remembering that when the moment comes up again.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, and I think, I have asked like that I want you to ask. It's okay to ask. Don't feel like you're prying. And I feel like you do. I see that you do that more and more. So
yeah. And the first time I started, I'm like, it's gonna seem
like fake.
Yeah, not genuine, because that's just not the way I speak. You know what I mean? So, but then I'm like, okay, well, you're saying that's what you need from me, and I want to be, I want to, whatever I can do, right? By the same token, whatever you can do, you're a big comfort to me. So,
but that means a lot, because I know it's uncomfortable for you. So when you do it, I'm like, I know that's not natural for you. So just the act of you doing it makes me feel loved, because it's like, you don't care that it's uncomfortable. So that makes me feel like loved and heard, because I know you heard me and you're doing it because I asked.
Right.
And just that, it's like, even if you don't say the perfect thing, that action does, like, it does what it needs to do.
Okay.
So. Okay. How do you love me?
How? With every fiber in my body. Okay. Well, I feel like I love you by wanting to be around you, and showing you that I support what you do.
I think, well, the way that I love you is by listening to you. Because I always want you to feel heard, because that matters to me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I need that from time to time. Like I know I don't want to ever feel like it's a burden, but sometimes I have to talk my feelings out, and you hear me and you kind of give me alternatives, or, even just a release, just to deal with something, and sometimes I just need, I value your opinion. So sometimes if you say, well, Ma, so-and-so, and I'm like, okay, I might not be ready to receive it right then, but I'm like, okay, so if Carla sees it that way, well, then maybe I should, maybe I can back off of it a little bit. It's not so big a deal, right? So.
Okay.
Okay, the last question. If this were to be our last conversation,
Oh, Lord.
what's something you never want me to forget?
Oh. That I love you.
That's easy. Yeah. I feel the same way.
Yes, and you really are like my best friend. I know I have like years where I'm like trying to not act like you my best friend.
Not years, Carla. Not years.
Or just like where I'm trying to set boundaries so I'm sure that I'm grown,
Right.
because we're so close. But but I do want you to know, like, even when I'm feeling like that, or I'm being a little distant, or I'm having my quiet time to myself, like, I still see you as like, you the person I can always depend on. Always. And I always love being around you. So that's what I want you to know.
Yeah, I definitely, I couldn't be prouder of you. You know, I just love you. To me, you're the perfect daughter for me. You know, I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. You get me because I am kind of quirky, but you do get that. And it might be corny or whatever, but we really are a good mother-daughter team. And anything you ever need, you know, there's breath in my body, you know, please ask and I'll, you know, do everything I can. And
Hi guys, if you were watching that video and thinking, I'd really like to ask some of those questions to my family members, we have the And Family edition available at theskindeep.com/shop.